In 8th grade, section 8-9, we're dealing with prediction equations. So you've been dealing with equations where we had to find the equation of a line using 2 points. Now we can use that in order to predict, from patterns and trends, predict what could happen in the future by finding an equation of that specific pattern. So you're going to learn, it's actually not too much different than what we're dealing with, what we dealt with in last section. Is just once we find the equation, then we can find future information. So let's start with this information. It says the table shows the amount of land in the U.S. farms from 1990 to 2005. So the first step is for them to give us the pattern so that we can find the equation that fits the pattern. So in order for us to find, the equation, we have to find organization amidst the chaos, because of course in real life we're not always going to have a perfectly straight line. So we have to find a line within the chaos of the pattern. So here is our information. So I'm going to do an XY chart. I'm not going to do the whole thing because there's no negatives right now. So I'm just going to focus on these. So I'm going to do 1990. I'm going to do 1995. 2000 and 2005. Okay? And then here is 987, 963, 945. So I'm going to put a break here. This shows that it's a significant jump. And I'm going to go maybe by our lowest. I'm going to find my lowest number, which is 933 is my lowest. And then 987 is my highest. So I have to find a number that fits between lowest and highest. So I'm going to start with 930, and then I'm going to start with, I'll go by 10. So 940, 950, 960, 970, 980, and then, 990. I know that's a tough call, but that's what I'm going to go by. Okay? So, again, I put that break because I'm going to jump from there because everything lines between 930 and 990. Okay, I can't do it multiple times in here, but I can just do it once in the beginning. And I'm just going to plug it in. So on 1990, we did 987. 95, we did 963. 2000, we did 945 here, and then 2005 is here. So I have this, and it's not yet a straight line, but what I want to do is I want to find a straight line. I want to find a straight line amongst that, but I can't just draw any line, because if you see here, if I could draw a line here, okay? I could also draw a line here. What I want to do is I want to draw a line that touches as many points as possible and then evens out the remaining points. So, for example, if I do a line here, then it touches 2, and I have 1 point below the line and 1 point above the line. See that? My remaining points, one is above, one is below. If I put it here, then all my remaining points are below. I can't do that. If I do it here, I only have 1 remaining point, and that's below. If I do it here, then I have 2 above. So this one gives me as many as I can get on one line, but also leaves the remaining ones the same amount as bottom below. Now, if it's off by 1, it's fine, but I don't want to go too extreme. And some of them are going to give you more than others. So this is it's called the best fit line, our prediction line of fit. Sorry, not best fit line. It's a line of fit prediction line. So this is the pattern we're going to be following. Now these are not on the pattern, but we're assuming that they're somewhere near the pattern. So when we want to predict, we're going to predict continuously on this pattern. So from here, once I do this, now I just find these 2 points. So the points I'm using is this one and this one. So my 2 points are, the first one is 1990, comma 987, and the second point is the third one, so it's 2,945. Now, as you can see, some of you guys might have different opinions on where the line of fit will go. So your answers might differ. It might be different than the person next to you or even the books. And that's okay as long as your line of fit matches and your X and Y, and then you find your prediction line correctly. So once I find this is exactly what we did in 8.8 when we were dealing with writing an equation. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just dealing with big numbers. So x1, y1, x2, y2, right? My prediction line is y equals mx plus b. And I can find m easily, right? I'll do y2 minus y1, so 945 minus 987 over 2,000 minus 1990, which gives me 10 on the bottom, and then negative 42, and it should be a negative. My slope should be a negative because because it's decreasing, as you can see. So the land is decreasing as the years are going by. So because we're dealing with such weird and big numbers, I'm just going to put this into a fraction. So I'm dealing with just one number. 42 divided by 10 is negative 4.2. So my m, let me write this, negative 42 over 10, excuse me, negative 4.2. Okay? Once I find that, then I'm going to look for my b, right? So I'm going to use one of these points. Let's use this one. So y equals, so 987, right? Minus negative 4.2, sorry, equals negative 4.2 x, which is 1990, equals b. And negative 4.2 times 1990 is 987 equals negative 8358. Okay, which gives me, sorry, this is supposed to be plus b. And I'm going to continue it here. So then I'm going to add that to both sides. So 987 plus 8358, which will give me 9345b. So then my line is y equals y equals negative, that's wrong, 4.2 x plus 9345. This is my line of fit equation. But it's not asking me what the equation is. I need the equation in order to predict 2015, okay? So what this means is, this is my year, so my years are my x's. I'm going to plug in 2015 for x to find out what it would be in 2015. So negative 4.2x, my x is 2015, plus 9345, okay? So from here, I'm going to do 2015 times 4.2, negative 4.2, which gives me negative 8463 plus 9345. So I'm going to do negative 8463 minus 9345, which gives me y equals negative 1. Oh, sorry, plus. Sorry. I was like, oh, that's a bad number. Which gives me 882. So miles. Okay? So that means in 2015, the year 2015, the land, the miles of land in acres that U.S. farmers will have will go down to, sorry about that, will go down to 882 miles. All right? So here's a few things. I know that was a lot of work, but this part right here should not be new information. This is from 8.8. So if you're not sure what happened here, go ahead and watch that video again. But this is from 8.8. I just happen to be using two big numbers. Once I find the equation, this is what's new, is that I take this and I plug it in. If they give me an x and I plug it in for x, they give me y, then I plug it in for y, and I solve for the other variable. Now I look at my answer. If all of a sudden, because my first answer I accidentally put negative and it gave me like a negative 17,000, blah, 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 that doesn't fit this trend. So something went wrong and I need to reevaluate. But 882, that makes sense. It's decreasing because this is decreasing steadily, and so 882 in 10 years is not a bad prediction. So I have to see how close it is. If I have an extreme number and my numbers here are not extreme, then something went wrong and I have to reevaluate and check. So go ahead and try page 456, number 2, and I will see you in class.